Before I share the letter, here's some information about it. In July of 1883, Henry James, the famed novelist responsible for writing most notably The Portrait of a Lady, received a worryingly emotional letter from Grace Norton, a friend of some years and successful essayist who, following a recent death in the family, had seemingly become depressed and was desperate for direction. James, no stranger to depression himself, responded with a stunning letter, which, despite beginning with, I hardly know what to say to you, contains some of the greatest, most compassionate advice ever put to paper. A feat made all the more impressive on learning that it was written just months after the death of his own parents. The letter: Boston, July 28th. My dear Grace, before the sufferings of others, I am always utterly powerless, and the letter you gave me reveals such depths of suffering that I hardly know what to say to you. This indeed is not my last word, but it must be my first. You are not isolated. Verily, in such states of feeling as this, that is, in the sense that you appear to make all the misery of all mankind your own. Only I have a terrible sense that you give all and receive nothing, that there is no reciprocity in your sympathy, that you have all the affliction of it and none of the returns. However, I am determined not to speak to you except with the voice of stoicism. I don't know why we live. The gift of life comes to us from I don't know what source or for what purpose. But I believe we can go on living for the reason that, always of course up to a certain point, that life is the most valuable thing we know anything about, and it is therefore presumptively a great mistake to surrender it while there is any left in the cup. In other words, consciousness is an illimitable power, and though at times it may seem to be all consciousness of misery, yet, in the way it propagates itself from wave to wave, so that we never cease to feel, though at moments we appear to, try to, pray to, there is something that holds one in one's place, makes it a standpoint in the universe which it is probably good not to forsake. You are right in your consciousness that we are all echoes and reverberations of the same, and you are noble when your interest and pity as to everything that surrounds you appears to have a sustaining and harmonizing power. Only don't, I beseech you, generalize too much in these sympathies and tendernesses. Remember that every life is a special problem which is not yours but another's, and content yourself with the terrible algebra of your own. Don't melt too much into the universe, but be as solid and dense and fixed as you can. We all live together, and those of us who love and know live so most. We help each other, even unconsciously, even in our own effort. We lighten the effort of others. We contribute to the sum of success, make it possible for others to live. Sorrow comes in great waves. No one can know that better than you, but it rolls over us. And though it may almost smother us, it leaves us on the spot. And we know that if it is strong, we are stronger, inasmuch as it passes and we remain. It wears us, uses us, but we wear it and use it in return. And it is blind, whereas we, after a manner, see. My dear Grace, you are passing through a darkness in which I myself, in my ignorance, see nothing but that you've been made wretchedly ill by it. But it is only a darkness. It is not an end, or the end. Don't think, don't feel any more than you can help. Don't conclude or decide. Don't do anything but wait. Everything will pass, and serenity, and accepted miseries, and disillusionments, and tenderness of a few good people, and new opportunities, and ever so much of life, in a word, will remain. You will do all sorts of things yet, and I will help you. The only thing is not to melt in the meanwhile. I insist upon the necessity of a sort of mechanical condensation, so that however fast the horse may run away, there will, when he pulls up, be a somewhat agitated but perfectly identical Grace Norton left in the saddle. Try not to be ill, that is all. For in that there is future. You're marked out for success, and you must not fail. You have my tenderest affection and all my confidence. Ever your faithful friend, Henry James. I most definitely recommend all of you to go and read or listen to it over and over again until the beauty of it and the gravity of it starts making home in your heart, and you start reading in between the lines. And all of us will have our own things which we will be able to relate to it, questions which will be answered because of it, and feelings which might be pacified because of it. I recommend you sit with it. And this is where I sign off today. Thank you.